So we're up to Mishnah Vav and Perek Daled in Bava Kama, and this is learned Leilu Nishmas Levi Yitzchok ben Reb Chaim Tzvi to benefit his neshama Tehei Nishmasei Tzrura B'Tzrei Chaim. Says the Mishnah Vav. Shoir Shehoya. No, sorry, Mishnah Hey. That's what we're up to. Shoir Shenogach Esa Odom V'Meis. An ox gores a person and the person dies. What happened to Mati? I don't know. An ox gores a person and the person dies. There's two things that happen when an ox kills a person. One is that the ox needs to be put to death. And number two, there's a payment of kofer, which the owners have to pay a monetary payment for the death that the ox caused. Zog the Mishnah. So shoyer shenogach odom v'meis, if he gored the person and made. So for the payments is muad mishalim kofer. That if he was a muad, he did it 3 times already, then he'll have to pay the monetary payment, the kofer. The misa, you'll pay either way, but a muad will pay kofer. The tom potur mina kofer, but a tam, the first 3 times, is exempt from kofer. Zok the bartanura, muad mishalim kofer. So the question becomes, how could he become a muad? A muad means that he killed 3 people. If every time after he kills, you're supposed to put the animal to death, so how was the animal able to kill 3 times? He was already after the first time that he killed somebody, the animal was put to death. So how does that work? Sagt Rashi talked about it like this. V'afal gav the bekama the nogach katlinale. Even though that in the first one that he gored, we already killed the ox. How could he kill another ox? Ashkechin on muad, we can find the muad. Kigoyin shahorak shloisha nochrim. Let's say he killed 3 nochrim, 3 goyim. By a goyim, the din is not that he killed the ox. So he became a muad by killing 3 goyim. Inami, or he became a muad, shahorak shloisha Yisrael treifa. He killed 3 yidden that can't live. Treifa means a person that can't live for 12 months is called a treifa. And the atreifa lekatlinale. So if the ox killed a treifa, we don't kill him, but he's still going to become a muad for killing 3 times. Inami, or another possibility, gives you 3 possibilities to become a muad. The kotel that he killed, the ox, v'orak la'agamo, he ran away to the swamp. They couldn't catch him. La'achar shehidu boy, after they warned him. And he did so 3 times. So anyways, we'll find a scenario where he becomes a muad. So if he's a muad, he pays the kofer. The tam, but a tam is potur min kofer, is exempt from kofer. The payment of kofer for the ox that killed the person, if he is a muad, you pay, and if you're a tam, you don't pay. But v'zeh v'zeh chayav misa. Whether the ox was a tam that killed the person, or the ox was a muad, you would still be chayiv misa. The ox would be chayiv misa. V'chein, and the same thing, halacha is true, ba'bein v'chein b'bas, talking about a young boy and a young girl. If they were gored and they were killed, so then you would have to put the ox to death. You don't say, well, he killed a minor, still v'chein b'bas v'chein b'ben. The tenuk v'tenoikis, a young boy, or tenoikis, a young girl. Chayev aleim skila v'koifer kegedolim. You'd still be liable for both, for the skila, for the ox being stoned, and also koifer, the monetary payment that you have to pay, just as if you killed kigdolim, just like by its adult. What happens if the ox kills a slave or a maidservant? Nogach, so the owner, the one he owes the ox, his ox goes and he kills a slave or a maidservant. So the Torah has designated Noisim Shloshim Sloim that you have to pay 30 Sloim. That's a standard. It doesn't matter the value of the Eved or the Amma, whatever their real value is. The Torah set an amount of 30 Sloim. Bein Shehu Yafe Moneh, whether he was worth 100. So you're getting a bargain, basically. You're not paying the value of the Eved or the Amma that you killed because he was worth 100. You're only giving him 30. Ubein Shein Yafe Ladina Echad, or whether he was worth only one dinner, and here you're giving him 30 sloim. That's much more than the value. Doesn't matter. The Torah said for killing an Eved or killing an Abba, you pay 30 sloim. Mishnah Vav. Zog the Mishnah Shoir Shahoya Mischach Bakoisel. The ox was rubbing against the wall, the Nafal al Adam, and then the wall fell on a person and he killed the person. You only give death to the animal if he does it intentionally. If the animal rubbed against the wall and unintentionally the wall fell down from the weight of the ox, that's not unintentional. In that case, you don't put the ox to death. However, if the ox was a muad, we said before a muad pays kofer. So the muad chayv kofer. If he did 3 times, like he was rubbing against the wall and he killed already 3 people that way, so then you would have to pay the kofer. Death to the ox only comes if he does it intentionally. Kofer, if he's a mood, he would have to pay. Let's look at the Bartanur. We'll explain this. If the ox was rubbing against the wall, then the exemption is misa. You don't pay misa. You don't kill the ox if he didn't intend to kill, although he killed it, although he may have done it more than 3 times. But it's not an intentional killing, so then you are not going to give the death penalty to the ox. But if he was a muad, by a muad, we said before you pay kofer. How does he become a muad? Going he became a muad to rub in the walls and to fall it on the people. It's interesting, the language of the Bartanura, you see, what happens if he's a muad just to mischach b'ksolim? That wouldn't make him a muad. Does the ox know who's behind the wall? If it's a person or an ox over there, but the Bartanura writes clearly, it has to be lischach b'ksolim ulhapilam al bnei odom. It's not intentional though, because if it was intentional, then he would get misa. But he's saying if he did it 3 times, and now he's been doing it for 3 times, and now he rubbed himself against the wall for his pleasure, enjoys it. The piloi al ha'odom v'meis, and he threw the wall down on the person dies. Hasher potur min misa, the ox is exempt from misa. But the Bailim will have to pay the kofer because he's a muad, and we learned in the previous Mishnah that a muad pays the kofer. The reason Hashoir potur min misa, why is he exempt from misa? Because the pasuk says in Shmois Chof Aleph, Hashoir Yisokol v'gam ba'olav yumos. The ox gets stoned, and the owners pay. Yumos here means they paid. They paid the kofer. But there's an equation of the ox and the owners over here. Kimisas abaylim kach misas asher. Just like you would kill the owners, in order to kill the owners, they have to want to do it intentionally. Kach misas asher. The owners only get the death penalty if it was intentional, b'mezid. So we are saying asher yisokol v'gambol of yumos, that the death of the bailim has to be the same as the death of the ox. Ma bailim ein chayovim im horgu es nefesh achi hargu bekavone. Just like the owners would not be liable for a person's death if they killed somebody, it has to be intentional. If on it, you go golus other things, but you don't kill them for unintentional. An ox, you're not chayiv. The ox is not chayiv misa for killing a person unless he does it intentional. That's the equation. Asher yisokam v'gambol yumas. But because he's amued, the owners will pay the koifer. Tiksiv, and that will not get the exemption of misa because the pasuk says im koifer yushas olav. So yochel ifte koifer yushas olav. What does it mean if my im koifer? If koifer lerabis ha'edek shaloi bekavona lechiv koifer. That is coming to include if a person, if the ox kills unintentionally, like in this case, it was rubbing to his enjoyment against the wall and it falls and kills the person, he's still going to be chayiv koifer. So basically, even though the ox will be exempt from misa if he kills a person unintentionally, but still koifer you'd have to pay, provided that he's a mud. A tam doesn't pay koifer, as we learned the previous Mishnah. What happens? This halit niskaven lahariges habehema v'horiges ha'odam. If he wanted to kill an animal is bought and he ended up killing a person, or lanochri, or he wanted to kill a goy, B'horak ben Yisrael, he ended up killing a yid, or lanefolim, babies that are not going to live, but B'horak ben Kayoma, and then he ended up killing a lasting, somebody who will be living. So in that case, he is potter. Now, he's potter by the Adam. It seems like he's potter here, but Bartanura doesn't say anything. So it seems like he'll be potter from everything because, no, I mean, fakert, because this is Shalei B'Kavona. You still pay koifer from him. Koifer, we learned that. This potter is the same potter. It's potter from Misa. But koifer, you'd have to pay l'chayre, because if we learn from him koifer, even Shalei B'Kavona. Or in this case, it's not Shalei B'Kavona. In this case, he intended to kill somebody who would be free. So it's also, he killed the person Shalei B'Kavona. I think, Mati, what do you think? I think that it means that also that he's going to be Chayiv Koifer, and what it means, Potter, means only from Misa, just like in the previous case. Because even though the previous case he didn't intend to kill at all, but here he intended to kill and killed the person. This is even more, because in that case he had no kavanah to kill at all. Here he wanted to kill a potter, but he killed a chayiv dika person. So l'chayre koifer he'll be chayiv anyways, and the patur that we're talking about here is he's going to be potter for misa. Correct, Moti?
My son is crying, but the Kahati learns like you.
That what? That is both in both cases, right?
But the Kahati learns like you said that the tour is all on the animal, but the kaifer for the owners is going to be. It seems to say it's all the cases. In other words, there's
Even
no
when he
tour.
intended to kill. Okay, let's continue Mishnah Zayin. So the Mishnah Shoir Ha-Isha, the ox of a woman is not exempt just because she's a woman. The ox will get killed if it killed a person. Shoir Ha-Yisomim, the ox of orphans, which is a case where they don't even have any caretakers, so there's no responsible person there. And if it killed, it'll still be chayiv. Shoir ha'apatrupas. This is a caretaker for the Yisomim. It's the ox of the Yisomim, but he is in charge, as the Bartanura explains. Hashoir shel Yisomim hu elosha al hapatrupas l'shomrei. It belongs to the Yisomim, but the apatrupas needs to guard him, that wouldn't be a reason to exempt the ox from death. And shoir hamidbar, meaning a ox that is hanging around has no owner, and shoir hahegdesh, an ox that belongs to hegdesh. It somebody consecrated the ox and it gored, or shoir hager shemes levein lo yorshim, an ox that belonged to a convert that died and nobody inherited. So it's also, these are all hefkedik oxen. Hare'elu chayovim misa. It doesn't matter. All these will be chayav misa. And Batanura explained the shiva shoir ksuvim beparsha b'negei chodom. By goring a person, there's 7 times shoir. Chad legufe, one for just telling you an ox gets misa. V'shisha l'shiva shvorim alolu. Another 6 times shoir is for these 6 oxen. Shor isha, shor sem, shor tru, shor misa, shor agerber. Rabbi Yehuda Aimer, Rabbi Yehuda disagrees. He says shoir hamidbar and shoir ha'egdesh, shoir hager shemeis. So these are ownerless. They don't really have an owner. Isha, Yisayim, Petrupas, they have an owner, but Midbar has no owners. There's no owner there. Shoira Hegdish has no owner. I mean, Hegdish, there's no real person owner. And Shoira Ger Shemeis is also. They will be Peturim and Misa. The Torah says that you have to warn them in front of the owners. There has to be an owner. These 3 oxen have no owner. Peturim and Misa. Zog the Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Shoira Hegdish, Shoira Ger Shemeis, Vein Lo Yershim, Peturim and Misa. And he adds, Afilu Nogach, even they had an owner when they gored, and then he consecrates it. So now it doesn't have, that ox doesn't have an owner. It has Hegdish an owner. Or Nogach Vachkach Mesager. When he gored, the ger was alive, so he had an owner, but then he died. Or your Potter Rabbi Yehuda would still say that you're Potter. And the reason by all this was Rabbi Yehuda, the reason of Shein Lam Ba'olim. The Torah says, V'huad, if all of there has to be Bailam over there, make Mahmud in front of the Bailam, but there's no Bailam over there. Therefore, in all these cases, it would be Potter. Okay, let's leave it over here. It's Yud Nisan today. A happy birthday to all of us, and we should be mischazik in all of the Rebbe's inyonim, and the Rebbe certainly will take care of Levi and the Nei Nishmasa Tzur B'Tzur Zachayim, and this is all Lilu Nishmasa in this Yom Sgula, Zeicha Zainzach Zenzach mit Rebbe, mit alle those who are Sheikh Offer and Kitzu Baran Sheikh Offer, and Zenzach mit Rebbe, mit Levin, for all of our loved ones.
Amen.
Thank you for joining.
Koyach.